Hello, hello, hello. Today is July 8th, 2022, and twice each month we hear from Norm Winsky. And that time is now. He's going to go over his previous calls and tell us about some important dates coming up. So, Norm, the floor is yours.
Okay, thanks for having me on, Jeff. When I was last on Monday, June 27, I gave you these three forecast points here based on planetary cycles. If you see AC, that means after the close, so that's overnight. So it's a valid setup, we'll be looking to do the trade usually on the next day's opening. All right, our first point that we talked about was the night of June 27th, Neptune was turning retrograde. If you want to know about any of these technical terms, give me a call, get a hold of me. I'll give you a free class, explain all these technical terms, what they are, or how they happen. Anyway, so Neptune is oil. We're looking for a change in trend in oil. Neptune was doing this thing, that's oil. So we'll be showing you the chart in just a few minutes. Then our next point was there was a new moon the next night of the 28th. By the way, if you have two big points like this together within a day, that's often a very important point. And anytime we have a new moon, full moon, we round up the usual suspects: financials, grains, precious metals, and because it was in Cancer, we have an emphasis on silver. And then that at the end of the week, that weekend, 3-day weekend with the 4th of July on Monday, we had Jupiter to the U.S. chart, and that the U.S. chart is we take a snapshot of where the planets were on July the 4th, 1776, when the USA began. And anytime we have that, we have U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. So let's take a look at our first market here, corn. We had a bit of a rally into the new moon, and there you were looking to do something maybe on the opening, and that had a little rally top there. It doesn't look like much on the chart because of the big price movement tends to squish the smaller movements, but that was about a 25-cent move, which is good for about from the low to the high there, moved about $1,200. And then so you top there, and then we went down and I had an even much bigger move than that, and we dropped almost a dollar, which would be, if it were a dollar just to round off, that'd be $5,000 in just one, two, three, about 3, 4 days. Here's soybeans, a little more obvious. They had a big move up into our new moon window, and they topped the next day, and then they dropped about two full handles. That's about $10,000 in about 3 days. Okay, and then wheat is going sideways. Green is good, by the way. Red is bad. Going sideways, we do nothing on a sideways market. That's a yellow light, yellow square. Okay, and here's oil. Oil was a really unique thing. We had the Neptune thing on the night of the 27th. I told my subscribers by email, nightly email, that we were due for a change in trend in the oil. However, because the new moon, I thought the new moon could pull it one day later. And then I looked at the price action. We had dropped about $18 the week before, and we were having like a retracement rally. And I think at this point, we'd taken out the 50% retracement. I thought there was a good chance that on the next day we'd make it to 618, which would be the exact number was 111.04. The market actually got to 111.14. It went through the target by 10 cents. That's only $100 on the big crude oil contract, which is just about nothing. And then we dropped 9 handles, which is $9,000. So that was really unique. We had both time and price to come together right there, and that was really good. Silver was not so good. We had this featured, and so therefore I gave it 2 red arrows because we not only thought it was on the list for the new moon, but we featured it. So I said that was 2 misses. And then gold was going sideways, so that's a pass. Here, S&P, the excellent trade here, had a big rally up into the Neptune retrograde point, and that was a really great top. And then you had a huge drop. Then we looking to buy there on the moon, but it did go a little bit lower, so you would have taken a small loss there. And then later we had choppy sideways trading range, so you would have done nothing there. Here's the bonds were even better. We had a 4-day decline in the bonds. We were looking for do something here on the morning of the 29th. with the moon. And then we had a big rally, about 5, 6 handles here, which is $5,000 to $6,000. Then we had another point here for the U.S. chart over the July 1 weekend, and it topped the next day, and then we started coming down. These charts were done as of last night, so I don't know have not updated these charts yet for today. Hopefully it continued lower, and you would have made even more money. U.S. dollar missed the boat on this. The moon was over here, if you've watched before. The currencies are usually excellent. This time, for whatever reason, maybe because the new moon was at apogee, which is the farthest point, maybe that weakens the influence of the moon. And so we missed the boat here. The low was over here, and then you might have, had we had a day earlier, we might have gotten in there, but that's not the case. So you might have been inclined to sell there, and that would have been a miss for probably a small loss. Here's the Aussie dollar rallied into that high there, and so you could have sold there and made some nice money. Here's the British pound, just kept going down, so that's a miss. And the Canadian dollar was really good. It rallied right, it made a high there, right on the moon. You sold there, and you had a chance to make some really great money there. Here's the euro, it just kept going down. Here's the yen, was almost perfect, just about perfect. Dropped right into our window there for a low. And this was Frank, did something similar on the opposite side, had a nice rally into our window right there, and then went down. So we had 10 winners out of 16 possible signals for 62.50%. Obviously, my numbers are down since last time when I had 85%. Every now and then I hit a bad streak. It's not perfect. So here, now you got a special bonus. I'm going to show you something I hardly ever show on these interviews in the past. So I have something else in my letter called fractals. It's a branch of, so it's called chaos theory, which is a discipline, a study within theoretical physics of how the universe works. And there's something in the stock market where, if you know how to do this, you can study the price action in the first month of the year and be able to forecast the rest of the year. So I've cut this off in August, but it still gives you a sample. These blue bars go all the way to the end of the year, and I did that back in February, and then I overlay each month these black bars on top to show you the correlation of how it's working. What's exciting here, what you can't see, is out here in August, about the middle of August, there's going to be a huge, according to this model, a huge fork in the road, and there's a potential here for I'm talking a huge, humongous move in the stock market. And so get a hold of me if you're interested in this. By the way, this is all Astro free. It's very simple. If you go on Google there and look at fractals, they'll probably show you calculus. I have a talent for reducing everything to grade school. I promise you I could teach this to a 10-year-old in about 10 minutes. By the way, if you decide to get this, it's on sale. The year's half over, so it's half price, $120, and I can teach a 10-year-old to do this in 10 minutes. Okay, here's the bonds. I have this for a total of 27 markets. I'm showing you 2 now. And here's the bonds. You can see that's working out pretty well. And we were due to make a top here on the bonds, and then they're going to go back down and probably test their recent lows. And okay, so anyway, that's that. I'll tell you more about that when you contact me. Here's what's coming up. We're doing this Friday evening, the 8th of July, and we got a big weekend coming up. We got huge cycles, mostly to the U.S. We do have one non-U.S. cycle, but this one, there's one to the U.S. These are all huge. Uranus 84-year cycle, that's hitting the U.S. We got Mercury perihelion, that's grains, plus all this stuff applies to the stock market. Then we have Pluto. It takes 248 years to go around from July the 4th, 1776. What's called the outer planets, the ones that are way out there, they move in a zigzag fashion, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's due to the motion of the Earth, and therefore we first hit this for the 248-year cycle back on February 21. A few days later, Russia invades Ukraine. Had major ramifications for the U.S. economy. We have that coming up this weekend. Don't know specifically what that's going to mean. We've already had one little setback here this past day when we had a good friend of the U.S., ex-Prime Minister Abe, was assassinated. That was not good. I think he was trying to run for Prime Minister again, and he won't be around. So anyway, we got again 248-year cycle this weekend, and then we do have one positive cycle culminating Monday morning, and that's one positive thing. Then we get hit again Monday afternoon with another Uranus cycle to the U.S. chart. Again, stocks, T-bonds, dollar. So I'm expecting some really big moves here over Monday to Tuesday time period. Then we have a full moon Wednesday afternoon, and that'll be at perigee. We're in what we call in the technical term is syzygy. That's when the moon and the full moon lines up at perigee. When the moon is the closest, that only occurs every 14 months, and it hangs around for about a month or two. And this will be the second hit. We had this a month ago, and if you go back and look, you'll see most of the markets that I had lined up on the moon there back on the last full moon had a very high percentage there. And I expect the same thing to happen here. And you got financials, grains, precious metal, and coffee featured now. And then at the end of the week, the next weekend, we have Saturn to the U.S. Neptune. That'll be your stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. And because it's Neptune, you'll have oil. So if you're not familiar with me, I've been doing this a long, long time, 45 to 50 years. I'm a former Chicago floor trader. I did that for 12 years. It's on the Chicago Board Options Exchange, Chicago Board of Trade. And all during that time, I was trying to study anything I could get my hands on. I studied Elliott Wave, studied Gann, cycles. There's the whole list there. Harmonics, astrology, all this stuff. Okay, and here's how I got. Give me a call. I'll give you a free class explaining all the technical terms, and we can talk about you're getting my letters or learn astrology or whatever you want to do. And here's my phone. I'm in beautiful Naples, Florida, 239-594-3939. Here's my email, Nwinsky. That's Nwinski at Embarq, EMBARQMAIL.com, or you can call me on Skype at Nwinsky_1. Looking forward to helping some of your folks, Jeff. Everybody have a great weekend.
Norm, that's just terrific as always. It looks like we have some real big moves coming up. I'm not surprised because I won't be around Monday, and the market knows when I'm gone because that's when it makes its big moves. Norm, thanks for everything. Next week should be exciting, and we'll see you back in 2 weeks.
Thank you very much.